All right, next form is the big deal with Next.js is the server actions. And so server actions let us basically do what we did in the last video with the route handlers, a lot more streamlined and easier. Basically, we can do stuff in the server without having to make full routes. So I just have the base form here, server action form. What did I call the last form? All right, cool. So yeah, server action form. And so here, we are not going to declare a use client directive because we're going to keep everything on the server. And so in order for this to work, we have to do two things. First, we have to give each input a name. So let's go ahead and just do that real quick. Name is card holder. Name is card number. Name is expiration date. So these names is what the form data will use as keys when we get the data. So it's probably good to keep them as what you would want them to be in the database as, to make your life a little easier. Okay, and the next thing we have to do is create a handle submit. I'm gonna call it a action because we're doing form actions. So server actions have to be async, and they have to have this use server directive inside of them. So we are going to get form data because that's what an action can give us. We can attach other information, but in this case, form data works perfectly for us because we're working with forms. So in the form, we want to use the action attribute, not the onSubmit attribute. Okay, so we've attached our action to our server action. All right, so now we can basically get all of our data. So let's just do that. So const cardholder is equal to form data dot get cardholder, and that's pretty much it. We'll do that for each of our inputs: card number, expiration date, and CVV. Let's go ahead and log all this. Console.log, card holder, card number, expiration date, and CVV. So let's see what happens. Let's go ahead and log this all. So giraffe 101, 222, 223, 444, valid through, I don't know, through April 2025, CVV 555, complete purchase. Cool. So we have our data logged. We can see down here in the terminal. So that comes through nicely, and that's pretty much what we can do here. So it's not, because we're keeping everything on the server and we're not using clients, we can't really use that much JavaScript to really reset the form or anything. But usually in this kind of a form, you would just want to redirect the user anyways. So what you could do is redirect the user. But before I show that, I just want to show another way that you can work with form data instead of using the .get on each input. You can also do const, call it form data. Call form data object is equal to object dot from entries to form data. I can go ahead and log this. So let's submit it again. There we go, same information, all in one line. This might be better depending on your use case. Maybe you want to deal with each input separately. Maybe you want to do some validation or coercion to different types. Because right now they're all going to be strings. So okay, so now here we can do what I said before. We can redirect the page. So let's just redirect them to the forms. And we can use redirect from next navigation. Let's go ahead and try that out. Complete the purchase. Let's do a let's do a quick delay just to keep it await new promise resolve set timeout, resolve 2000. Simulate a 2-second sleep. There we go. And complete. And there we go, back to the forms. So that's the server actions. And so one more thing I want to show with server actions is that, yes, we can keep it in the same file and then use this use server directive, but if we want to keep things more clean in our files, we actually could create a new file, which is what we do, which is what I do most of the time, called actions. And in here, we can put our action. So I'm just going to call it, I'll keep it as action for now. Export, let's see, we'll call it submit action. And you could keep the use server here, or if you have a bunch of other server actions you're going to put later, you can just go ahead and stick it at the top of your file. And that's another benefit of using a separate file. So now everything in this file can be your server actions. So we have to import that now. We called it form action, I believe. No, what did we call it? Submit action. Submit action. There we go. And it should work about the same. Let's try it one more time. Testing. 101, 222, 223. It's not working. March 2027. CVV. Submit. And we're good. And here's our data logged. All right, so that's server actions. Really cool stuff, really new innovations by Next.js.